Hello, welcome back to Bloodborne. This is going to be part 9. The last part we went ahead and finished off Old Yarnum. Yep. Just going to sit here. Okay. I took on the Bloodstarved Beast and did exactly what we needed to do with that. Went ahead and leveled up before we dropped. Right now I am focusing on leveling up my weapons damage, which is going to be skill. And we are going to be using the rifle spear for a good portion and majority of the game. And then once we get to a certain point, I'm going to have my second weapon, the Reader Palash. And these are going to be essentially two brand new weapons that I have never really played a full game with. Tested them out before, really like them, so, you know, we're going to go with our Blood Tinge skill build and put it to full effect now. So in the last part, we had spoken with Gurman, who was chilling up here, and he told us about ascending Odeon Chapel. So we're going to go ahead and ascend Odeon Chapel. And I also showed a little bit of or how you gain the first rune of the game through a secret on the elevator. So if you want to watch that, watch the last video. We're just going to continue up and through the Cathedral Ward's upper levels. Alright. Let's see what this guy has to say. Nothing as usual. She's still mean, so we're gonna avoid her. Come over here. Make sure that the platform is down. That was the secret entrance, by the way, if nobody knew. For here, I would generally just send the elevator back down. It doesn't need to be up here. Just in case things happen up here, you die. So a little bit of an ambush with a chainsaw, or a minigun guy right there. I meant to say chain gun. But, for the most part, that communion rune is going to probably be everybody's first rune that you come in contact with, if you didn't know about the Formless Odin one. The communion will just give us more vials. So if you're struggling and you need an extra blood vial, put those on whenever you're able to, and you'll be good. Okay, so this setup right here, we're going to have two gunners, guy in a wheelchair, and a regular gunner right there, as well as some dudes who are going to come pouring out of the door. You're going to get shot at, and it's generally just good to just run right through it all. Try to get these guys off one at a time so that we can control them. And you want to kind of pinch them in between the archway or something like that where you can funnel these dudes. So come across here, they'll start taking aim, dodge around this guy. Can fall off and die, so be careful. So we're going to come back for that. I tried to kill him up top, but whatever. So we'll just have to make the long run back down. That's fine. But if you accidentally kill that thing and he falls off the edge, just reset the world state and you'll get the drop. You can peek around the corner here. You would have seen it anyway. Probably would have saw you and ran, and then you would have lost it. Alright, so this room we have a guy off to the side. Shield man. And 2 guys staring at nothing. So just be aware of your surroundings like I've been teaching. Kind of pie the corners and identify areas of the room that you don't want to get yourself caught in. And of course the gun guy. Now this chest, I continuously always forget about it. Every single run. It doesn't really have anything important in it, but you know. So a new blood tinge. It's gonna greatly increase gun damage. So important for us, but for most runs, it's probably not going to do much for anyone. Come up here. So minigunner, little guy, and then a troll will pop through that archway as well. So you really want to be careful with this room. I honestly like to keep this thing in halberd mode anyway. Just because of the chances to get those viscerals, counterattacks, and I like the halberd moveset. The pokes are good, but the pokes are only good against certain foes. So around here. Go ahead and grab that thick cold blood, number 6. And the number in parentheses is just telling us what level those cold bloods are. So just like Dark Souls, you know, you get Soul of an Unknown Warrior and stuff like that. They're just different levels of tiers of blood echoes gained. So anything with a higher number is obviously going to give you bigger rewards of echoes. Coming over here to the left side, we get another one. Go ahead and just patrol top. You just be careful not to fall off or accidentally double tap to jump off. There is a note here. The sky and the cosmos are one. The choir. So more world building, more little ominous notes. You can see that it is pointing in this direction. Alright, so this room can be kind of dangerous. We got a guy over there, a wheelchair man, and another wheelchair man, except these guys don't shoot. They have like little flame sprayers, so you really want to get behind them as quickly as you can. Go with this guy. Yeah, you just do not want to stand in front of those guys because the fire damage will go all over the place and it can hurt you pretty bad. Depending on what you're wearing. I think my charred hunter garb would have blocked a lot of the damage, but still. Okay, Radiant Sword Hunter Badge. So this one is going to allow us to buy Ludwig's Holy Blade, which is a very popular quality weapon for a lot of runs of that quality build. And for now, this door is going to remain locked to us. You can go ahead and break the pots if you want to do that. But for now, the only reason why we came up here was just to get that that Radiant badge. So now we're going to go ahead and descend. And this part, it can be kind of difficult. So a lot of deaths and a lot of resets can happen here. So from this angle, if you want to take this approach, you won't lose too much HP, if any at all. Just drop down here, drop down right here, and there you go. We'll grab the new twin bloodstone shards. This should be our first iteration of the upgrade mats for +4, +5, and +6. So the same principles apply. You're going to need 3, 5, and 8 for a total of 16 shards to get it up to the next medium tier, all the way to +6. And here is the infamous drop room. So the idea here is that you're supposed to drop from platform to platform, grab items along the way, drop down that dark hole, and then continue on. But there is a hidden place that Gurman kind of alluded to us when he told us that we needed to ascend Odin's Chapel, that there was a workshop. And a lot of people miss this unless you know what the hell's going on. So what we want to do is that we want to line ourselves up pretty well with this plank right here. And then all you want to do is you just kind of want to walk and then drop. There you go. Heal yourself up because you take a lot of damage. And then right here, drop. And you're going to take more damage. Never really know where that comes from. I don't know. So this is a hidden door. Completely optional to come here, but for a lot of good reasons as well. We really do want to end up going down there, but we're going to have to make a second run. So that's why I dropped the elevator. And we're going to go ahead and open up this door. And continue through. And this is the abandoned old workshop. So we got insight for discovering it. And it is just another hunter's dream. Same exact layout, except it does not have the gate to the side, or the messengers piled all over the place. So if you want to get into the lore of what is the second hunter's dream and why is it abandoned, just read about it. It's actually pretty interesting stuff. Of course, it's all fantasy, so, you know, make up in your head what you think it is. You can hear murmuring around here. It's kind of cool. Kind of creepy, right? I'll go ahead and put some light to this. I noticed in some of the videos I've put up in the dark places, the brightness level doesn't really connect with the YouTube videos, so it was kind of dark in some areas, especially like that beginning house back in Yarnum. So I do apologize for that. I'll try to put the torch on more often for these dark places so we can see what I'm doing. Alright, so generally just follow the same loop that we have been doing this entire time, right? Storage area has nothing, this has something. small hair ornament. Really won't know what to do with this at all. You can read it, and the only clue that you get is that its color would stand out most brilliantly against a head of grayish hair. So you have to find someone with gray hair. Luckily for us, we do know who has gray hair, but again, just ominous notes, right? The workshop here does not work. The ritual altar has a very important item. The 1/3 of an umbilical cord. Now these things, you need 3 of them if you want to achieve this game's ultimate ending, true ending. So, give you guys a read on that. And those 1/3 of umbilical cords are really focal point of what this game is really about. So you're going to end up needing, you have a chance at gaining 4 throughout the game, but you only need to get 3, and before the end of the game, you have to use 3 of them from your inventory in order to achieve the final ending. So just keep that in mind. So that's where one location is of the most important item of the game. Then over here we see a doll that looks exactly like the one we have at our other hunter stream. A lamp. We will use that to go back. The old hunter bone. This is going to count for your hunter tools for your achievement, so you're going to need this for sure. This one, so the hunter tools are mostly associated with arcane. So if you're an arcane build, you're going to really utilize the hell out of these things. And there's a lot of really good hunter's tools that can change, can be game changing for the most part. So this one is like a quick step type thing. You just kind of like phase in and out while you're doing your dodging around and stuff like that. So it's really good for PvP uses. Like you kind of keep your enemy kind of guessing where you're going to go, and you dodge around. It's like a little ninja shadow trick. We'll encounter an NPC later that has this, and you'll see how difficult it is to kind of identify where they're going. So you see they don't have any Bath Messengers here. There's no way to get to the back. And all that remains is just a treasure chest full of doll clothes. With the doll clothes, you have 2 choices. You can just keep it, put it in your inventory, or in your storage, or you can wear it. But what we're going to do is that we're actually going to opt to sell this uniform because it is worth a lot of blood echoes that can go towards leveling or buying items and such like that. So even though this is a really fancy outfit and you only get it 1 time throughout the entire game, it is one outfit that is really expensive. It can kind of help you out a lot. So unless you really want to like walk around like this, that's cool. Just do it. But its stats are horrendous. It's really just fashion at this point. So I would just opt to not do that. And plus, I mean, come on. We got to go with the hunter aesthetic here. And that is it for the abandoned workshop. So the most important thing to pull out of this is definitely going to be the umbilical cord. So hidden area can be completely missed. It's only mentioned by Gurman once, but very vaguely. So go ahead and pop the lantern and return to the dream. Because if you don't return to the dream, you have to descend, you know, further down the pit. And the only issue with this is that even though you can descend down the pit, you're going to be missing all of those items that are still up there. So we have to redo the area, essentially. But it'll be okay, because we don't have to go up the tower anymore. Alright, so go ahead and return to the Hunter's Ring. And do your loot. Store, workshop, gonna repair my stuff. Can't use that. Gearman's nowhere to be in sight. Over here you can check for new stuff. Like I said, we got Ludwig's Holy Blade. This is a phenomenal weapon. Absolutely love it. Really, really good. I mean, if you want to play Bloodborne and be in Dark Souls, this is it. It's a single-handed sword that transforms into basically a damn claymore. So, very good moveset. Pokes, slashes, does everything you want. Single form sword is just decimates things really fast. So, a really wonderful quality weapon. You can transform it into anything you want, though, honestly, with Bloodstone gems. So, super good. Super, super good. Just save up for 20,000 and you're good to go. And honestly, you could just sell the doll clothes and just buy it right out there. So, yep, Ludwig's Holy Blade. Get you through a lot. Ludwig's Rifle. So that is exactly what it is. It's just, it hits for a further distance and has terrible reload speed. So it's a lot slower than just like your basic pistol. So if you're trying to go for a heavy shot from afar just to gain something's attention, but do a lot of damage before it runs up on you, this is basically your sniper rifle. But if you're trying to get parries or viscerals, definitely better options than the Ludwig's Rifle. You got the Tomb Prospector stuff. So you go ahead and buy a new uniform if you wish to. And then there are no new items to speak of. We can now start buying Bloodstone shards for 2,000 echoes. So if you need to, if you're going to want to kind of play around with the weapons and see what you really want to play with, you can buy these and just kind of +3 every single weapon up to this point that we have. Or you can just go around and farm for those things against the enemies that we have showcased already. So we have decided that we are going to sell the doll stuff, and you can see why. I mean, 7,014, 7,7. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting a lot of echoes off of this uniform, while everything else just cost like 400, this and that, you know? So this is for a reason. It's obviously sellable. You need to do it. Why not? There we go. So 39,000 souls to spend. Very good. And I actually keep doing this to myself. You do want to check over your gems from time to time to see if you can get anything better. And like I said, I mean, look at that. We're going from an 11 to plus 22, so we got a pretty good gem out of that chest, to be honest, just for Blood Tinge build. So even if our pistol doesn't hit for, you know, for the parry, at least it's going to hit for a really good piece of damage on enemies, and you can use it to kind of like chip away or, you know, finish things from a distance if you really have to. So very viable options there. I'll go ahead and talk to the doll.
Welcome. What is it you... Over time, it... Very well.
And we will use those echoes to continue to level up our skill. So you can see that we are gaining so much good stuff from doing this. You know, as opposed to putting that onto strength 136 to 142. So obviously skill is very, very important to us. We'll go ahead and just continue to do that. And again, I want skill to be at 30 before I start touching endurance and vitality again. So the small hair ornament was like, oh yeah, gray hair. Okay.
Farewell, good.
She has gray hair, essentially. It looks blonde, but I think it's gray.
Welcome. What?
So go ahead and give her that.
I can't remember. Not a thing, only I feel a yearning, something I never felt before. What's happening to me? Tell me, Hunter, could this be joy? Welcome home. What is it you... Over time, it... Farewell, good...
So we made it all happy, and she gave us an item. The silver terror stone. So go ahead and give her that comb, and she will give us the terror stone. Use it to pop another gem. And the tear blood gem is good for your weapons. Obviously, the bloodstone effect there is that its HP continues to recover at +2 rate this time. So you can counter this, or you not counter, but you can add this onto the HP continue to recover by 1. So you can have to up to +3, and that'll kind of take your health even quicker. So again, strategy for that is just if you know that you are running out of blood vials and you don't want to use them anymore, you can just pop those things into a weapon, bring those weapons with you, make sure they're equipped on you, because they do have to display in order for the effect to take hold, and then just kind of let your health regenerate as you know, kind of sit there and do whatever, play on your phone, do something. And then you'll have a full bar of health, and hopefully you can get to the next lamp or something like that to reset yourself. So, not really useful in fights still, because the name of the game is really not to take damage. And when you do, you're going to probably use blood vials anyway to heal up the massive chunks of damage that you're going to take. Just wanted to check. Don't think these guys... Okay, so they do. Fire paper has now become viable. So you can go ahead and purchase fire paper now with insight from these guys. Honestly, though, it's going to be a waste of your insight, so don't do that. Because these guys sell fire paper too, even though it's really expensive. 17, 20 echoes is not going to be really hard to come by, though, once we start getting into harder areas of the game. Of course, that number is going to go up when we continue to progress, but still, echoes will not be a problem. Okay, so we leveled up. We're going to go back to the ward. go back up. Send it back down in case things go bad. Okie doke. Now we will descend. And just take your time and watch out. I almost slipped through the cracks there, so don't need to rush this part. If it's kind of janky like that, just take the wide platforms instead. You saw it kind of got pushed right there. That's what this game likes to do to you sometimes. This one's going to be a hard drop, so just kind of run off a little bit. There you go. And another decoration for the dudes. I think I missed one, didn't I? No, okay, it's not anything. Alright, so this one right here can be a little bit of a hard drop, so just kind of position yourself right here. Boom. Alright, from here, there is an easier way to drop down, but we are going to go ahead and drop from here. Kind of run off. Boom. Just make sure you keep yourself healed up. You kind of want to aim for this place right here. This beast, he is kind of difficult, so be very careful. He will drop a rune. Temporary boost to transform. Basically, if you're a blood pellet user, that rune will help you out. So yeah, he's a little difficult. I'm pretty sure you can parry the guy, but you know, I just wasn't hitting him. If not, fire or... Even though he uses a fire attack, he's not resistant to it. He's a beast, so fire and serrated weapons will do damage extra. Go ahead and pop his door, and now we are on our way to this area.
A night of curses. A night to remember. Wouldn't you say, friend?
A little bit more of under Yarnum here, so. From here, you want to take a left. If you go straight, you're going to run into a bunch of dudes, so just take a left. Watch out for the crows. Rumpled hat and sweaty clothes, so now you can start looking like the Yarnum dudes. Over here is going to be a dog. So honestly, I would switch back over to something a little bit quicker, like the cane or the saw for the dog still, because the spear or something that only shoots and thrusts forward can whiff on them pretty easily. Those dudes are a menace, so we'll come back to him. Just more Yarnamites that are turning into even crazier versions of these things. This is where we need to go, so just ignore that for now. This way. We really want the dog, what we want the most. Yep, and then if you can get those pokes off, even better. I think he saw him. He did. That's not what we wanted. Okay, hopefully he returns. He does. Okay, so this is going to be our first encounter with a kin enemy. Two types of enemies in this game are beast and kin. So we've talked about weapon stats and how they vary across the different types of enemies that we use them against. So anything that turns into a serrated or fire weapon is going to do heavy damage against beast enemies, which is indicated by that little puppy dog looking thing. So again, if you need to understand what that is, you just go to the display and try to figure out what the hell's going on with it. Kin enemies, on the other hand, they are alien-like creatures. So this guy right here, man, he is really trying to hunt me down. Okay, he is messing up my explanations. We'll deal with that guy, but he's just a problem right now. I'll explain him when we get to him. Yes, go back. He's really trying. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to come back to that. So the thing that's chasing me right now is called a bag man, a bag enemy. Okay. Yeah, they're just incredibly dangerous, so you don't want to mess with them right now. But the kin are basically the cosmic horrors of the game. These guys, they're like white little alien blobs. So we'll see different versions of these things across the entire game, pretty much in the second half of the game, I want to say. But this is the first iteration of one. Sometimes they for whatever reason, you can't really sneak up behind these guys. They just know where you're at. But they are very, very weak to thrust weapons. So things like the spear that I have right now, they will take critical damage against the stuff. So it's basically trying to tell you, like, poke these things from a distance, because this guy is incredibly dangerous. So we'll come up on him. And yeah, if I were to use the saw blade on him, he would have been a menace to take down that way. So you saw he gave us a pretty powerful gem there that he was guarding. So it's a waning gem, crescent gem, whatever you want to call it. Fire attack up by 8.4%, and HP continues to recover at +1. So this will turn any weapon into a fire weapon. That can house a waning gem, essentially. So what happens though is that when you do that, the weapon essentially becomes an arcane weapon, which will eliminate the scaling of whatever you have for that weapon going on at that time. So for the Saw Spear, we are attributes of D, D, and D across Strength, Skill, and Arcane. If we were to put that gem inside of this weapon, it becomes a pure fire weapon, which means that the fire attack would go plus whatever 8.7% is for this weapon. And that's how much fire damage, including the base damage of the 109 attack. Add that all together, and then you're doing that much damage for a fire weapon. The only drawback is that you lose the scaling, so if I was to turn, just say, my spear into a fire spear, if I could do that, then the C scaling would matter not. I would lose that plus 33, and it would just become whatever the fire or bolt attack would be for that. So these dudes are weak to thrust and lightning. So they're just the opposite of the beast. So serrated and fire for beast, stab, poke, spears, and lightning for the kin. These guys are especially dangerous because they're called brain suckers. If they get a hold of you, and they'll use like little attacks that kind of trap you, they will pretty much just put this, like, I don't know, like, they'll suck your brains out. And then you'll lose insight that is, you can never get back. So they just suck. Overall, just suck. Just stay away from them. Alright, so the bagman. If this guy ends up killing you, you're gonna go to another zone, and it ain't gonna be fun your first time around. So you really don't want to die to this guy. They kind of do like this little super sand move once they take enough damage. So you really want to avoid that whenever they do turn into that kind of mode, because they will do even more damage. And it's usually the bag or the kick that will end up killing you. So there's a couple ways to deal with them. You can kind of just slash, run away, identify their opening and just keep on going in that route and hitting them. Or how I like to deal with them is when they go into that Super Saiyan mode, I get behind them and I do a charged heavy, and then I pull off a visceral, and that's usually enough to kill them, all in one go. But you want to get them out in open space so that you can achieve that. Basically, take the route I did, kill off the enemy so that there's no one there to bother you along with him. You want this to be a one-on-one battle. If you can, walk very slowly behind these guys and get a charged heavy anyway. But if you get too close, they will know you're there. And then when he gets up, don't go for the attack right away. There you go. Boom. Yeah, you don't want to waste your stamina trying to attack these guys. Just let them get up when you do your first one. Let them do that little angry Super Saiyan thing, and you're golden for another visceral. That is going to be the easiest strategy to take down bagmen, because there's going to be plenty of those guys in the back half of the game, and they suck. And they are all over the Chalice dungeons too. So it's just really good strategy is just to do exactly what I did. Try to get behind them, get the cheap shot first. Don't go spammy crazy unless you're just doing enough damage to do that, or you have a fast enough weapon in order to pull that off. Just let them get up, let them supercharge, and then hit them in the back one more time. You should be good to go. But if he ends up killing you, for whatever reason, because you missed, or whatever, you left something alive, a dog chipped away at you, and he ended up getting the killing blow, you are going to go to another zone, and it's not really hard to get out of, but it's going to be not somewhere you want to go just yet. So we'll go ahead and go up the elevator. There are no tricks here. You kind of spin the camera and see if there are. go ahead and leave the elevator up because we should never go back down there anyway. Pick up this blood, and then you should recognize exactly where we're at. We have made it back to the starting area of the Cathedral Ward. And we even unlocked the gate. So you see Ghostface dudes are chilling over there by the fire. This is essentially just the opening to the back half of the Cathedral Ward area. Climb the ladder. Grab the Numbing Mist. Numbing Mist are used to, more for PvP, but it'll allow people not to be able to heal themselves in combat with you. Very specific use as to why they put it here, because the next boss that we are going to fight is going to be, well, I shouldn't say next boss, because she ain't going to come up for a minute, but a boss in this section is vulnerable to the Numbing Mist, because she has an ability to heal herself. So the game's trying to tell you, like, this is a useful item. Figure out what it's used for. So go ahead and just drop down here. Nothing to be seen on this platform. Come on down. The Black Messenger hat. That is another little cosmetic for the dudes. Go ahead and roll off this. And then when you look down, make sure you identify your battlefield before you make any crucial errors. You'll see that there seems to be nothing down there. So roll off. And then all of a sudden, Ghostface just comes out of nowhere. Along with another bag dude that just showed up. So be very careful now of this area. So Ghostface will attempt to chase us, but while you're in the church, nothing can come through, because if you remember from earlier, the NPC says, oh, there's a essence that they don't like. That little move right there just kind of pulls you in. Not really the worst one they got. It kind of just staggers you, but, you know, just get away from him. When they're like this close, just kind of sidestep them. That kick is horrible. And I almost freaking died. Holy shit. That punch is really bad too. When they do that, that's fine. You can get behind them. See, now I'm just playing games with this guy. Holy crap. See, and they should barely have any health. But I mean, look at that. He gave me 1,300. So it's just the game's trying to tell you, do not mess with those dudes. But thankfully to their AI, you know, whatever. And I had just enough HP to survive that that heavy kick. So thankfully he did not take me down. Otherwise we would have jumped to another section that I was not ready for just yet. Okay, so now that we have gone down, we've seen the umbilical cord, where to get that secret workshop, turned in the doll's stuff, gave her the ornament for another blood gem, and opened up the gate to the next section of the game. You're looking good. Talk to the NPC, she's still going to be mad. Yep. If you need to, you can go back up, farm bullets, farm whatever you need to farm up there. You can just, you know, do whatever. You can go back down there, do stuff. You can go back to Yarnum, finish up some side questing, do whatever you need to do. Because once we continue on from here, it is going to change a lot of stuff. We're going to meet new NPCs and fight new bosses, get new items, get better ways to equip ourselves for the upcoming battles that we have in the future. But for now, we are going to return to the Hunter's Dream, reset the world state because we have lost some equipment here with my blood vials and bullets. Don't worry about the doll. She'll just kind of pop in and out random spots every now and again. Storage. Workshop. If you have enough of the twin bloodstone shards, sometimes those dudes have a chance of dropping the twins versions instead of the regular bloodstone versions. If you end up having 3, go ahead and just upgrade whatever weapon you're using. Because we are going to get plenty of twins. That is not a problem. Go ahead and repair whatever you need to. Put those new blood gems in if you really want to do that. It's really up to you. Don't have the access to the waning yet, so I won't be able to create a fire saw spear yet. And then these don't really do much for me, so I don't need to do that. I'd rather have the damage. So thankfully the bagman did not take me out because that would have been hilarious. Especially after saying, you know, but that just shows how dangerous they are. Especially this early. They're going to be dangerous no matter what though because that kick just does like too much freaking damage. So here's it all.
Well, what is... Very well, let...
Go ahead and level up.
Farewell.
Looking like we're in good shape. And then when we come back for the next part, we will continue on through the rest of Cathedral Ward Odeon area. And then we are going to make our way over to a side area so we can actually start using the runes that we're starting to see drop around the world. So we're going to save the world state changing game boss for later episodes. And then once I do achieve a +6 weapon, we are going to start tackling the first part of the Chalice dungeons. So a lot of Bloodborne, a lot. There's so much to do still, which is fantastic. So you can see we got a new headstone here for that abandoned workshop. So if you just want to go there for whatever reason, you can go there. These other headstones will obviously open up new areas as we progress through the game. But for now, we are still in the level 1 area. So we'll go ahead and transport back over to the Cathedral Ward and get ourselves set up. It's loading screens. Oh my god. Let's see here. I don't really want to play too many games with this asshole, but we do want to get. Yeah, good enough. Whatever. Been messing around with that guy. I just wanted to pop those. I keep forgetting to pop the things, even though I recommended doing that. It's just how not used to blood tinge I am. All right. So we're gonna cut the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.